Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name's John Webb. Today we're going to turn this pile of old sticks into 10 fully functional, unique slingshots. We're in the workshop now. We're going to select some forks and we're going to get cracking. I don't know how they're going to end up. I'm going to go freestyle on these with the saw, the rasps and the Dremel. Try and put some pattern in, some swirly handles, some finger grooves. I'm just going freestyle on 10 naturals and making them totally unique. I have no idea how they're going to end up, so stay with me till the end and hopefully we can have 10 absolute stunners at the end of the video. Now the fun part, selecting 10 forks. Now there's a few things you should keep in mind when selecting a fork. First of all, you want it to be fully seasoned and dried out before you work it. These have been in my workshop now for several years. They're well and truly seasoned, I can tell you that. Ideally, you would want to leave them in a warm, dark place for a couple of months and they'll fully dry out before you work them. The next thing you want to do is make sure they're strong enough. So you want to be grabbing your forks, giving it a good squeeze and a good pull because you don't want anything failing and breaking in your face. You're going to want to select a fork. In this case, 10 forks. You can sort of try before you buy, really. I like the way that one holds, so we're going to be having that one, that's for sure. There's one. We're going to need to select some more. I like the look of that little stumpy one. That's 2. Right, what else should we have? Seeing what's here, you see. That's a bit of U. That's 3. It's a nice U fork, that one. What else we got here? It's a pretty little fork. 4. Oh, it's getting to crunch time now. That'll make a nice fork. 5. We've got 5 so far, people. 5. Come on, a few more. That's you as well. No, I don't like that one. Don't like that one. Don't like that one. Oh. It'll be wrong not to have a mini in there. That's 6. That's a nice little fork. That's 7. Nearly there. What's this one here? Nope, don't like that one. It's a lovely little mini cup as well. We don't want too many minis. Oh, it's getting crunch time. We'll have that one. Any more thicker ones? I'm sure we can do something with that. So how many is that now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more. What shall we have? What shall we have? That one. So there's the 10 forks now. Selected, done, fully seasoned, dried out, and all strong enough. Now the first job you want to do after selecting your fork is cut it to the desired size. Now remember, always take off little bits because you can always take more off, but you can never stick it back on. So let's put some finger grooves in the first fork. Now some finger pads to brace the thumb and finger against. Now fork number 2. We're going to cut some deep finger grooves in here so we can use it in the pinch grip style. This is a spalted fork, and what spalted means, it's the wood has naturally started to rot and break away. And underneath the grain, it leaves this amazing pattern. It's almost like black lines where the fork has started to rot. But you should always check the strength of a spalted fork before you use it, because sometimes the rotting process can go too far. But this fork was absolutely perfect. And wow, did it have some stunning grains and patterns underneath. Simply beautiful markings. Next up is the U fork. Now I took the side of this fork off on purpose. 1, to allow some of the grain and the beautiful pattern, and 2, the fork tip was thicker that side, so this totally evened the forks out, so it was both the same thickness. Next up was 2 traditional cup forks. Now, because they're traditional cup forks, I really didn't want to do too much to these, so it was a simple case of round the fork tips off, ready for bands, and take some of the bark off to allow a little area for me to put my signature on them. As I say, these was 2 traditional cups. The first one there was a mini, and this one is a bigger size. I wanted to keep these as traditional as possible. So as I say, rounded tips, a little area that I'm putting on now to put my signature on, and that was these 2 ready for finishing. 5 down, 5 to go. First one we done. It's a silver birch. I know it's protected wood. The tree was already dead when I cut this fork. Finger grooves, pads, make a studded fork. Second one is this spalted one. You should always be careful when using spalted forks, and always strength test, because sometimes the spalt can go too far, but this is an absolute stunner. Solid as you like. That's going to be special, that is. These are only rough shaped, as I say. Then we had the U one. Had to get the fork tip level like the other one, so they're roughly the same size. It's going to have some stunning grain in that one. Then we've got a pair of traditional cup forks here. Don't want to do too much on them. 1, the thin forks, and 2, traditionals should be traditional in my opinion. Right, 5 forks left. I'm going to have a bit of lunch, and I'm going to have a think what I'm going to do with these. So I have no idea. It's all freestyle, off the hook. With this fork, again, the fork tip on the right was much thicker. So this fork told me what I had to do. So I had to shave the bark off this side. 1, to allow some of the grain out from the other side, and 2, to make sure the fork tips was even. With this one, I didn't know what to do, to be honest, so I just got the little round burr bit for the Dremel, and I just went all over it and just get it a spotted effect. I think it looks quite cool, to be honest. With this next fork, again, 1 fork was a little bit thicker than the other, so it was the same process. Take the bark off one side to add a bit of character and make sure the fork tips was an even size. This is a great little tip if you cut any forks and the fork tips aren't the same width. It's so easy to even up, and it also adds a cracking little bit of character. With this one, I didn't have no plans in mind. I just went to work, freestyle with the Dremel. I put this first ring in, and before I knew it, I was doing all the fork with the Dremel. I think this looks quite cool, and it also adds a lot of grip. It's very grippy in the hand. It's not sliding anywhere, this one. Well, last but not least, we had this quite chunky, sort of traditional cup fork style. Now, I tidied all the knots up, tidied all the fork tips up, and I was quite happy with the way this one looked, so I decided just to leave this one as it was. I think this is a proper cracking little chunky fork. It was time to swap the rough shaper for the smooth flat wheel and give all the catapults a once over, just to tidy them up a little bit before the final stages. These frames was really starting to take shape now. Just look at the pattern in the spalt on this one. Absolutely amazing. The next one up was this quite funky one. What a proper grippy effect. Just love the look of this one. This one as well, the U is really starting to come out now. I can't wait to see it when it comes for the grades and the finish is applied. They're just a total unique batch of catapults, everyone different. And this one as well with a skinny waist with a bark on at the bottom. So it's time for the next grade of sanding. Slowly but surely we will get there, taking our time going through the grades. Next up, the super fine sanding pad. Really not long left now. With every grade that we go through, the grain is popping out that little bit more, almost at the finish line, and I can't wait to see them finished. So it was time to put my mark on them and sign them, and we all know this is where the magic happens. This is what makes them shoot better. Now it's time to get them protected. Now there are many different ways you could finish these. You can paint yacht varnish and other varnishes on with a brush. You can spray them with different types of polyurethane and sprays, or there's many different types of oils you can use. I like to use several different types of oil, which gives a tough, hard-wearing finish. So we'll get them all oiled up now, and I'll see you all when they're done and when they're dry with elastic on, and we can have a look at the finished product. Well then, what can you say about these for a stunning batch of totally unique one-off slingshots? I don't know which one's my favourite. They've all got character, but if I had to pick one, it would be this spalted one. The pattern and the grain in that is just absolutely amazing. This U one as well though, I love that, the way the bark's on the one side and the pattern is on the other. This one with the finger grips on the back and then the pads on to hold it. It's just an exceptional frame in itself. I like each and every one of them. It was a lovely day in the workshop today. It was something different from the same old, and this one holds an absolute gem. The way the bark at the bottom mixes with the wood underneath, and this one, I don't know what to think of this, but it's so grippy in the hand. Just can't get enough of it. So many different ones. And this is the traditional one. Everybody knows the traditional U-cup. And this one, well, we should call this the Dalmatian, the spotted catapult. There's just so many there. I've had a great day in the workshop. I hope you've learned something from this video. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to comment. And be sure to subscribe. I'll see you all in the next video.